Man, I still do not feel good. I swear to God, it's so annoying. Like, to just keep wondering, like, what am I poisoned with this week? That's what it feels like. Like, what is the toxin that I'm trying to get rid of this week? It's like horrible. God, I'm so sick of this shit. But talking about the not knowing who's the white hat or dark hat or whatever, this one kind of surprised me. Like, was this guy. So he's showing why Tom Hanks is a white hat. And also he is following Charlie Freak. So Charlie Freak is still out there. I haven't looked him up in a while, so he must be back somehow. Maybe he's on Rumble. He could still be on YouTube. I don't know. When I've looked him up, I haven't seen him. But I haven't looked him up in a long while. But anyways, this guy is talking about one of Charlie Freak's videos showing, and Charlie Freak did good videos on Trump. So I don't know, but there was during 2020 when so much stuff was going on, it's so funny too, because there's all these people who are waking up who are this is just what's happening now. Like, dude, this has been happening for years. But so there was a guy who was following Tom Hanks really closely. He ended up having a stroke, and then he rehabbed, but I haven't seen him in a long while, so I don't know if he's still on there or what happened with his health. But he was every day was posting about Hanks and what was going on with all of the signs and stuff, and his was good. And his wasn't the only one. Like, there was a lot going on with Tom Hanks in 2020 that people were talking about. Like I said, when you go on the lives and stuff, and people in the comments, we'd all be talking, and you could see what people were saying. Like, there was so much going on in 2020. It was really, I wish everybody would have woke up then and we could have all had a really fun time. But it was pretty fun. I was constantly, like, I would talk to my kids and they would be saying stuff, and I'd be like, oh, I think it's really fun. Like, this is so interesting. What's going on? And they would always be like, just think I was whacked out no matter what I would say. So, God, my nose is just dripping and dripping. There's another thing, I guess, with the poison. I don't fucking know. I'm doing the black seed oil. And I just saw this other guy talking about the apple cider vinegar is way too acidic. You should definitely not be drinking it and stuff like that. And in the morning, your body needs to get rid of all the acid that accumulated during the night. So I don't know if it's to drink something more alkaline. He said drink coconut water in the morning. I'm sure the tea fucks my stomach up more, because I did start drinking it again. I did it a couple days off. And I didn't really think that seemed that different. But I don't know. Maybe it's a buildup. Maybe that's why I'm starting to get sick. Maybe it's something in the tea. Fuck, I don't know. But I see lots of people talking about it. Lots of people, saying the same things. So, okay, the Tom Hanks one. So this guy is saying Tom Hanks is a white hat. And he's getting a lot of, what is that called? Blowback. And he is where people are like, no. But for those of us who were watching back then, it was very much the other. It was like we all thought he was a good guy, and then all of a sudden we saw, like, no, he's a bad guy. And they would go through his posts. They would go through so much stuff and break it down. So I've said recently even, I think that that's one of the reasons why they marketed certain people as like our heroes, like Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks and stuff. So we didn't question anything. We saw them as a structured role. So we just accepted them as that being. And so then they can do whatever they want. That's the trick. And that's why you can't just lump things together and stuff like that. You have to be individually recognizing people for who they are. And so, because they can get away with shit. when you just assume that they're a certain way. They don't have to be that way at all. That's how so many men have been able to just go around and abusing their kids and stuff. I just saw this video, and this girl, she was talking about that she's getting a lot of blowback from her family because she's speaking out about something that happened to her. She's 35 now, and her dad was essaying her from the time, I don't know, she was 4 to 8 or 8 to 12 or something like that. It was 4 years in there. I think it started when she was 8. And and I don't know who it is telling her to knock it off and quit talking about it. But her dad was a cop, 6'4". She said well over 200 pounds. The guy was giant. She showed a picture of him. He was giant. And that he was so respected. Everybody loved him. And the one thing in their family, you were not allowed to talk about what went on in the house, outside of the house, or you would be severely punished. And so those are the things too, like I really have to acknowledge what some people have gone through. Not everybody can speak out. Not everybody can run. Everybody's here to experience certain scenarios in different ways. And so, as horrible and tragic as it is, I mean, those souls are working something out. They're doing something. But, that is a common theme in this current society. And so much with this, the fake personas, that people are just like, oh, no, that's a really nice guy. Well, how easy. I can just run around killing people as long as I just seem like a nice guy. So that's pretty simple. And it's worked for a lot. I mean, there's a lot of them who have been found to be like just normal guys, living normal jobs and doing normal things, other than the fact that they go and, kill, torture, all that stuff. So anyways, that's, that's something in our society that we have to take notice of. And I had a whole bunch of things coming into my head. So I think, but the Tom Hanks thing, like, I don't know. I will be shocked if it comes out that he really was a turncoat or something. And it could be. Maybe he was born a Rockefeller and he came in to take them down. I don't know. I've heard that he's very involved in that he was the top. This is what I heard back in 2020 was that he was the top chrome supplier in the West Coast, and Streep was the main in the East Coast. Like, they were the ones who were like the suppliers. Like, if you wanted some of that, that's who you'd talk to at the party. So I don't know, with all of these weird things and these weird people and all this double agent shit. Now they're saying that what was that girl's name? Kaylee? Is it Kaylee McInerney? I think something like that. That now they're talking about her taking Tucker's position on Fox. But I have seen a whole bunch of people are being arrested. I'm pretty sure Rupert, like a whole bunch of people, and they're all being exposed for their involvement with Jeffrey. It's so funny when you hear a fucking Gator Boy trying to backpedal. You little fucking sassy ass bitch. I swear to God. I can't even believe, and I was within feet of him before at that women's march. I wish I would have known the shit I know now. God damn, that little weak ass bitch, motherfucking murderer. God, I can't wait to see some of these people go down. There's so the disappointment thing, like the coronation is going on right now. Like every other live video, I swear to God, is the coronation. I did see one guy, a spiritual guy from England, talking, and he's like, yeah, this is hard. It's sad to watch, but that is the same thing I thought last night. I couldn't even believe it, man. Couldn't even believe it. So there were already videos. There were so many live videos. And so they're going down the main street, and all these people are camping on the streets. Like, it is 4 or 5 people deep. All these people who are camping all night on the street to have their spot for the parade in the morning. And so then I was like, oh my God, really? This many people? And the guy's just walking and walking and walking down the road, showing all these people. I was like, oh my God. And then, so then there's been so many videos of this. So, and it's so fucking loud. I just go past them as fast as I can, but I swear to God, you would think it was the most, it sounds like a fucking opera going on. This music is absurd. So fucking absurd. And the amount of money they're spending on that, while all these fucking people are, oh God, it's so fucking bullshit. It's so disgusting. And how many people just line up like, oh, yay, yay. It's like, what in the fucking hell? The disappointing thing too is, well, how many of them are going to wake up? And that's going to be dramatic in its own. But, you know, how many of them are going, how many people are leaving? They just, like, I don't know. It's mental that this much stuff can go on and people still just dedicate their lives. Oh, that's what that one guy said, that spiritual guy said. Yeah, it's really hard to watch all of these people just going to their knees, giving their allegiance. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And I don't want to judge them or something, but I mean, it's disgusting. I mean, it is. I'm not going to go individually and say they're bad people. You know, I don't know what has led them in their journey to be where they are. And so, you know, it's not my place to, but the whole theme of everything, of how this evil is just, you know, it's just disgusting. It's like all these people just don't pay attention in life. Just don't pay attention. Just believe what they're told, accept whatever abuse, just, you know, and everybody else shut up. You know, they don't want to hear your negative, crazy talk. And it's like, oh my God, what will you accept? Is there anything you won't accept? Like, can these people do anything to you? And what was it too? Oh yeah, okay, so there was, I'll do the Arizona one in a second, because the one is still with the coronation. Then there was footage of Scotland, and they're all in the streets. They want to be released from the monarchy. Is that what you say? Monarchy? Malarkey? They want to be released from it. They don't want to be under that king. And so they're all marching in the streets. You know, they want to be released. Oh, man, when there's so many things that I'll be watching, and I just keep crying and crying and crying. I was bawling my head off while I was watching these people, and it wasn't, it's like, it's something different. I don't know how to explain it, because it's like I feel things. I don't just see it. It's like I can see it, but I can like feel the emotions there. I can feel what's happening. Like, I don't know how to explain this stuff, but it's weird. And I had been noticing, like I had talked about before, I started noticing like I could feel something. I didn't just hear it. I could feel it inside my body. Like I think it's part of just as you disconnect from the 3D and you connect more to your own being, that you start just really understanding your part, and you just start feeling things different, is all I can think of it as being. And so that was getting me so emotional, watching them and knowing, you know, like, I could just feel, and I could just feel like this ancestral tie. Like, I was just really emotional about that. And then I saw this guy sitting on a bench playing guitar, and a homeless girl sitting next to him singing. Oh my God, damn. Oh my gosh, I was bawling my head off. Her voice was so incredible. She was so good, just out there singing, no speaker, nothing. And that got me so emotional, just the difficulty, you know, of like these so many talented people, and you know, we don't get to share in their talents and stuff like that, that it's also controlled and bullied, and it's just, you know, that's okay. Can I finish what I'm doing? I just started, Stella. Can you sit down and wait a minute? I swear to God. Whenever I start doing something. Okay, let me just go let her out. Hold on. Okay. Let me go out there and do a poop or something, old stinky lady. It's raining again. So anyway, I think that anal gland thing, I think, is all full. I was like, oh, motherfucker. I'm not going to go take her to the vet. I mean, there's already that disconnect. Anyways, I mean, the medical is going in a certain direction. And it's like you have to take a knee if you want to be a part of it. And I'm not taking a knee. Like, I'm not fucking pledging my allegiance to this fucking medical, to this fucking government. None of it. And fuck off. To the banks, any of it. And I don't feel like that one guy, you know, I'll just go on hospice care. Fuck that. I'll go fucking live in a tent on a beach somewhere. I'll fucking go live my best life. Like, what? I'm just going to give up on life? No. And I don't know how sick he is. I don't know his stuff with his kidneys. It's very, very strange, all this kidney stuff, man. I don't know. There's something weird about the kidney stuff. For there to be so many diseased kidneys, for there to be that to be the number one thing, like all these bodies found with no kidney. And I think that they've started just, you know, slaughter them up, feed them to the people. Because, I mean, it's like they like that 2-for-1 thing. Get rid of the body and then also feed the people. Oh, and plus you get a laugh at the people because they're so stupid. I just saw this girl and she was talking about that she went to the butcher block or the butcher and got her meat. And she was showing how much meat she got, which wasn't a whole lot for $80. But she was like, there's no way that she's going back and buying meat at the Walmart or grocery store. Because she said every time she does, she gets sick. And she goes to the meat place and she doesn't get sick. And I think it's because the meats at the grocery stores and stuff are coming from distribution centers. Distribution centers are buying stuff from meat packing plants that are being run by cartel, that are being used as disposery of excess body material. So, yeah, I think you're going to get sick. There's no telling what all they mix it with. I think I saw this girl the other day. She's like talking about her bacon. And she said, I'd say it's pork bacon, but that's the only bacon you can eat. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, I guess you haven't seen the video of what they make bacon out of. Dog ribs. It's like, no. Oh, God damn. I swear to God, this place is so disgusting. So, because I had that movie too, yeah. Okay, so in the CPS thing, so it's more stuff in Arizona. And there's a lot. Like, I know CPS is illegal in all the different places, and I'm sure that you'd find some severe crimes when we start really looking at it, which I think is going to be going down. But the Arizona one is one after another of shit in Arizona with CPS. They're going to be a big one that'll go down. And I'd probably be, you know, show like why they lied on the election, all that stuff, you know, because they got to cover their fucking shady asses. And this one guy was talking about that he went, like they had a group that went door to door to see how many people had interacted with CPS before. 1 out of 4 houses. He said 1 out of 4 had interaction with CPS. And then he explained how they do it and why they, you know, and it's the kids. Like if you go in and your mom is like a druggie and you don't have grandparents and you don't have any aunts or uncles, those kids are the most at risk. The least people who are going to be looking for them, those kids are goners. They're just goners. And it is 1 a day disappear in Arizona, 1 to 2 a day, and it's like 60 a month or something. And so the what they do is they'll keep shifting them, And then they keep the parents just wrapped up in, they have to go to court, so they can't work. They have to go to court nonstop. They have to go to classes. They have to go meet counselors. They just keep the parents on a hamster wheel, just, chasing their fucking ass. And then they start transferring the kids from this house to that house. They got to go to this other one until all of a sudden the kids are just lost. And then they said that, once the kids are lost in the system, suddenly all the paperwork disappears. And so then these parents have, just nothing. And another thing too, because this movie that I was watching yesterday, it was, and I don't even think I finished saying everything I wanted to say about the Pope movie, just because it was, I just have a lot of stuff about the evil, and the evil is in each man. The evil does not just reside in a place. How the evil begins to reside in a place is all the people who are focused on the evil inside of them begin to hover in the same environment, which creates more energy of that. But it's not a place that's evil, it's the people that are evil that gather there and create the evil toxic environment, the heavy energy and stuff. They do that. They bring it, they do it all. And so, those people, and there's so many people who just want to be in control of others. And so there was more stuff I wanted to say about that movie. Like when I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, there's so much you could talk about with this, with the good and evil, and just the way that they show it is just, I don't know, so like a bit of a manipulation. But I guess it's a true story about this Pope. And I don't know how much of this stuff is all true in the movie. But anyways, I thought it was a pretty good, because it had some stuff where it was talking about, like, I don't know. I just think that kind of information about the Vatican and the exorcisms, and there was some stuff in there I think that is interesting when you're trying to understand this place. And but the movie I saw yesterday, this one was Meredith Baxter Burney and Robert Urich. I just love that guy. It's so funny when I see some of these people that I am back when I was a kid and I would like them, and now I see them as an adult, and it's just like, oh, I remember that guy. I always really liked that guy. But so I like that guy. And but this movie, he was a little different, because in a lot of the movies he's played a lot of parts. I mean, he's played an abusive guy, but a lot of them he is like a more together kind of detective. And this he's kind of like a kind of bumbling, but it is so poignant to the part, to what they're showing, because to me this is disclosure 100%. It's so crazy too, the movies that they pull up to me. Like, I've never heard of this movie, and then all of a sudden I'll be watching this movie and I'll be like, exactly something that they've been showing me or telling me or whatever. It's like that. It's crazy. So in this one, it is so Robert Urich, he's like a bumbling kind of FBI. It's some organization. I don't remember which one. But so he is doing some investigation, and they tell him to go get this get this woman out of prison, and she's gonna work with him. And so that's Meredith Baxter Burney, and she's a criminal, and so she's helping him, and he's a total doofus. And so they have that whole part of the movie, the cute thing of the movie or whatever. But what they're trying to do with this case and stuff, so what it shows is that the 3-letter agencies always have a scapegoat. They always find that bumbling fool, because you have in the organization the sellouts, the ones that are on the dole, and then you have the ones that are, they just want to go to work. They just want to do a good job. They want to be proud of themselves, And so you have them. Well, they're the perfect ones to be the fall guy. Just like in that movie I was talking about the other day, Fun with Dick and Jane, when Jim Carrey is moving up in the business, And so they move him into a position to make him the fall guy. They do that all the time. That is like a part of how they structure. Like they got to have people to take the fall for them. So they got to have shields and beards. So they use human shields. They use anything they can to beard and hide and mask. So anyways, this, so Robert Urich, he doesn't know. He thinks like he's, moving up in the ranks. He's you move out of personnel and get to be on the road or on the, the street doing real crime. And so he, he was excited. And then when he found out that he was the fall guy for the crime, and then they started figuring out what the crime was. So the crimes are this group of the people that we know about, the ones that are in control, how they will mind control certain people as they move them up in positions. And this one in particular was a politician. This was a senator. And so who they were trying to move into position of president, but he was completely under mind control of this organization, and he doesn't know it because they use these trigger words, and all they got to do is just call you on the phone and say these certain things, and it will put him right into that thing. And so then they can get a senator. They had this one that was murdering, which is perfect because then they can they get their video, they get all their blackmail as their big thing. They got to have the blackmail stuff to hold over people so that they hold things over you. And people are so scared of being exposed and being judged that then they'll commit more crimes to not be exposed for this one that maybe wasn't even real. So in the movie thing, then this guy, they would call him and they could give him a code, and they would do this whole thing. Like they say, like he would answer the phone and they'd say, something like, what is AXT 345? And then he would go straight into his thing where he then, and they'd be like, are you human? They would ask him if he was a human. In their whole and they had to go through this whole process every time, which I thought that was kind of fascinating, that they're asking him if he's human when we've got all this stuff about transhumanism and the whole thing about what they're trying to do with consciousness. And more people are catching on to that now. More people are catching on to what the metaverse is. And I mean, at the same time, I mean, they're coming out, but not everybody knows that they're coming out saying, you can capture grandma and grandpa and just keep them in this. You don't ever have to let them go. You can just keep them in a box. Kind of like I keep Lucy's ashes up there, but I know Lucy's soul isn't in there. I mean, she can come and go. That is my attachment to her, where I have a hard time letting go of. So then I'm pulling her energy back towards me, but it's not the same as me trapping her energy in a box so that I can keep her close. And besides the fact that the people who would do that don't realize that there's a secondary role going on there. This is all about their experiments and stuff. And look at where they're going with their transhumanism experiments. And there's people willing to fucking jump on board. Because now they're saying they're going to do uterus transplants on these guys if they want one. It's wacky. Why in the hell do these guys want to carry babies so bad? Like, are they MK Ultra'd? Like, it makes no sense. And people just don't realize that, like, when we have a mental health crisis in this country, and we have so many people on drugs, so many people going to counselors. Oh my God, this is going to be a day. Hold on. Okay, can I finish what I'm doing now? Would that be okay? Oh my gosh, sometimes when she walks in and she just shakes her butt like, oh. God, she cracks me up. God, she's so cute. God, I love that little girl. And so, So how many of these people go into their counseling, but there's something else going on? How many of them are going into hypnosis? How many of these counseling group centers? Because remember, they're always looking for somebody who doesn't have a lot of ties, somebody who's an easy scapegoat. They're always looking for that. And so you're going to counseling, you know, they will find those people. And I mean, and maybe that's part of when they go into the hospitals, because that was always a place where they used to get their subjects anyways, was the prisons and the mental hospitals. But no matter what, they're somehow getting people to jump on board and want a uterus put in them so that they can get pregnant. I saw a video of a man trying to breastfeed his baby that would have been adopted, I would assume. Unless I mean, there's so much confusion at this point, because you have men changing into women and calling themselves lesbians. What? I don't. This place is so fucking weird. So fucking weird. Okay, so then you have these because I mean, I don't think you're a lesbian. You may got a pretend vagina put on, and you may take hormone, but you're a man. You're not a lesbian. You're a man who wants to be a woman, who's attracted to women. Like, I would think maybe do some inner work before you just jump on board. But some of these people are so uncomfortable in their own bodies. They hate themselves so much. So many have had so much trauma from the time they're kids that they're just, so there's so much going on with all these different people. But, I don't know if this guy who's trying to, because he looked like a man, who's trying to breastfeed this baby, who's like, oh, he latched on. Oh, God damn, it's so weird. It's so weird. Like, seriously, how do they get people to even... Oh. And then, so the person like that's sitting with him that also looks like a man, but that one could have been a woman that was born a woman who was taking hormones, who had the baby. But then why wouldn't that one be the one trying to nurse him? Like, there's weird stuff, and I don't even know. It could be totally two men. And why this one is so dead set he's going to nurse the baby. Why even men, or even like, is it because they're putting all these hormones in the food that is making men feel maternal, like they want to give birth to babies and stuff? But there's biology. Like, it is absurd to think there's a difference in a man and a woman. There's a difference in our hormone. There's a difference in everything of how we mate. There's a reason. There's a reason women give birth to babies. There's a nurturing side. There's a reason. There's a reason that each person has a role. And the thing that you want to do is play your role well. But so many people are so mixed up and confused that they just want to play any old role or something. But people who want to line up to have them start sewing uteruses in you, like, and what when your body starts trying to reject it, because I saw somebody talking about this, and they said it's one thing when you are just, getting your penis turned into a vagina or getting implants put in or something like that. But once you start getting an organ putting your body that doesn't belong there, your body's going to start rejecting it. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of these trans people who are having problems with their hormones right now. And I don't know if it is all being done on purpose, because it's part of the awakening, that the universal consciousness everything is going to be flipping. Everything is going to be becoming the opposite of what it is. And so that's interesting, huh? Everything is going to become the opposite of what it is. Huh. There was a really cool thing they told me yesterday. Oh, I almost got up to do a video. Sometimes they say things that are just so interesting. But maybe not interesting to other people, but they are to me. But maybe it's because it's not just words. It's like when they communicate, it's not just some words. It's like you can feel it, you can know it, you can see it, it's different. So anyways, all these guys that are just lining up to be their experiment and just not even care about themselves. Like, I really am curious about the guy who's even willing to just give up on life and go into hospice because he's homeless now. I don't know. There's so many people, they just they don't know how to take care of themselves. And then they just want to blame other people. And you got I think it's wacky when you see all these girls sitting around with, all their makeup. I can't even tell you I can't even stand it, really, is how many videos. I just go past them as fast as I can. And it's so fucking annoying. How many girls just go and sit and put on their makeup and then tell a story or something. It's so like accepted in our society. Just pile as much shit on your face, hide as best you can, and just pretend like that's normal. Just pretend like that's normal, just to hide your face. And the amount of filters. And one thing too is, what was this girl? Sometimes you'll see these girls and they are outlandishly beautiful. And they have filters and stuff on, so you don't really know, like, what do they look like without the filter, without all the makeup and stuff. You don't know. And sometimes they'll show and it's very dramatically different. But that's the thing that always gets me is I wouldn't want to go out. I wouldn't want everybody to see me on here looking like, oh man, she's so beautiful. And these fake ass lashes and, whatever, all the chiseled makeup stuff and everything they do to try and make themselves look perfect, and then use fillers or filters to, and then you got to go out in the real world and everybody sees you and don't even believe that's you. No, that's not you. Like, I wouldn't want it, because you kind of imprison yourself. You trap yourself. Like, how do you go out and be yourself when everybody thinks you're this other person? You look different. And then I think so many of them start to, like, they don't want to show themselves. They don't want to show their real face. Everybody sees them as this beautiful person. Everybody compliments them, tells them how pretty they are all the time. And then how are they going to go out and be like, oh, this is what I really look like, So it is very much a trap. And these people just trap themselves. And another thing I've seen so much of, which I think is really, really cool, is especially girls, lots of girls, buying fixer-uppers and going in and doing it themselves. They're going in, demolishing walls. Some are getting, help from family or whatever. But girls going on and taking on projects, and doing what they want to do and stuff. I think that's really cool. That's what I did here. I haven't even finished all of the projects. But, that is, I think it's cool. And then plus seeing a lot of these younger girls doing it. And I think that is exciting, for people. It's weird because there's so many that are going homeless and stuff. I've seen more footage too about the addiction problem and the fentanyl crisis. And so there's a new testing kit that the drug dealers are testing the supplies as they come in to try and make sure nothing is laced with fentanyl, but it's still getting out there all over the place. And but this heroin addict was being interviewed on the streets. And on the streets, while you're looking, this is probably Philly, someplace like that. It is the same thing. All these people just bent over. It's so weird looking when you see it. They're just bent over like someone took their battery out. And some of them are just kind of like waving, like, but bent over. Just kind of like going back and forth. It's so weird. And so many of them, their clothes are falling off, like guys with their pants down around their knees, and then they're just bent over, like completely cut off, oblivious from real life. Like, I don't know where their consciousness is. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know, I mean, I would imagine that they're just in another world and their body's just here short now, but their consciousness is just out there experiencing other worlds. And, as far as it can go, I mean, you can't go home and still be birthed into the existence, the reality. And, there's more stuff now where, stuff with the rocket. I think that is the reason why they keep doing these SpaceX launches and stuff. So people will see that it keeps hitting into something. Elon has said, we keep on hitting into that. I think he even called it the firmament. So I don't know. But so many more people are realizing, we're trapped. We're in. To me, I think that is a good analogy with that we're in a fish tank when the ocean's available, but the fish tank's about to bust open. That's what I think. And that is going to be when everything, I can see it as, one of those big giant fish tanks in the middle of a house or a restaurant, and all of a sudden it cracks. Like right now it's got the cracks, like all of our reality is cracking. So the fish tank has got cracks. It's probably got some water shooting out of some of these holes, but then all of a sudden it's just going to go, and all the fish are going to go down. But some of the fish who are scared, they'll just stay up there in the water as the water goes out, and they're up in the tank just trying to survive. That'll be that other group of people who, there's a whole group of people, they don't want to see Trump as being freedom. They don't want to see there surely couldn't be freedom for us. I mean, for all the people who just think that this is the end and all of the bad stuff, it just makes me think, like, is that where they're going? Are they going in for that experience? And those of us who keep seeing this other one, that keep seeing all the possibilities and the hope for the future and the excitement of the freedom and the possibilities of empowerment and independence and all that stuff. Those of us who see that we're the ones who are going to go flying out of the tank, flying out, for, like what I said, it's like we're free falling down onto the planet to see where we're going to land. And it is, there's just going to be like a great big reshuffle. Like everything is just going to reshuffle. But that is crazy, because it is going to be, we are the opposite of how it is. Like I know I'm the opposite of what I'm seen by other people. Like I know how the people see me, and I know the truth. So I know I am the other side of what they see me. They don't see me. They see me through the vision, through the glass. The vision that they look at me through is distorted. So how they see me is distorted. So they don't see the real me because they're looking through the distortion lenses. And so I'm the opposite of what they think I am or see me as. And I think that is going to be the same for so many people. And that's the part, is when the people who think of themselves as being good, and then they have to see the other side, that is going to be, that's going to be the part where the shadow self, that is going to be the part where they have to see themselves, and they have to accept themselves, and they have to heal what they don't like about themselves. And so that is going to be that whole part of the awakening. And it has to do with this flipping. And all these people, they think like it's all these different things. Like it has to do, I don't know, the things that I hear people say that they think all this has to do with, I don't think it has to do with it. I think it has to do with this happening so you can see yourself. So when everything is taken away from you and you're just standing there naked, and all you have is a mirror to see yourself, then you have no choice. It's like the universe is forcing you to have to heal, because it's the ascension. But that doesn't mean that everybody will be ready, that everybody will understand, or any of that stuff. So it will still probably not be everybody, you know. There will be a difference, I think, in the levels of the abilities in the age of Aquarius. Like, once we really get started in it, it's not going to be, I think that there will be people who have done their healing. They'll be kind of leaders as the people who want to be able to start to have the abilities, because the abilities come from the more you disconnect from the reality, because it's the reality that holds you bound, and you can't work on your abilities if you are bound down to the system, the paradigm, the reality. And so you have to look through that distortion. And so that is going to, you know, you're not going to focus on your own abilities and what you are able to do and stuff. So once you let go of that stuff and you focus on you, then you start seeing, like, I can't even believe the amount of signs and like, there's just stuff all around you all the time. It's so crazy, and it's things you don't even realize. And they're always giving you signs, whether it's to show you what's to come or whatever. Oh, and I just saw this too. This was in that same video where they were trying to talk about Tom Hanks as a good guy, which I think he's gone. I think he was done in 2020. And I sure the fuck hope Cappy is alive. I am positive Anne Hesh is. And I just think there's a lot of people who are going to be coming out. And another one who I had heard, I think last week, was somebody doing a whole video where Ellen is a white hat. And all of the stuff that she was doing and saying and stuff. So I don't know. This is going to be very curious once we really get to start seeing who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. And, oh, and there's a new Joe out too. A whole new mask, apparently. So, I don't know. It's got to just keep getting more and more absurd. I mean, they got to have a couple of these Joes, you know, in the same place at the same time. So there's got to be some shock stuff that's going to start happening, because it's so ridiculous. It's so absurd. Let me think. There was a bunch of stuff. There's so many different things that I kept seeing of different things going on with people. So much of the same things. And so many people saying, like, oh my gosh, this is getting boring. It's like the same things over and over. And it is. It is so much of everybody just starting to say the same thing. But then you see this other group of people who are just like lining up to give their allegiance to this evil freaking people. Like, I don't know. I mean, there's a part where it seems like the awakened, that we are the minority, and that, you know, it's a slow process. But I'm still going to be hopeful that this weekend is something's going to go down. Like, the coronation doesn't seem like anything dramatic is happening. I'm going, fuck, I don't want to say what I wish would happen, because then I could probably be arrested. Like, so I won't say. But I wish some shit would start going down. Like, come on. And but I'm still going to be hopeful that this weekend is going to be a significant thing. Because there's supposed to be so much stuff that's going to happen with the financial over the next few weeks. And there's so much stuff with people being arrested and so much stuff being disclosed. Like, I mean, to me, it is like the one side was dragging it out, and the good guys were kind of like, because I think that they surrounded them, and that these people don't know who they can trust and who they can't trust. Like, none of them know. And so I think that what was I going to say? Anyways, but I think that it is, they are, man, every time I go, I swear to God, I knew what I was going to say a minute ago. Whatever it is, I don't even know. I swear to God, I can have all these things going in my head, and then I start talking, and it just keeps being like, and I keep seeing other people saying it. So I can only think it's something with the energy where people are getting confused, they're going blank, they can't remember, they're too tired. Like, lots of people are all having the same things. Like, I have to really, really motivate myself to go on and even talk, because I feel like depleted, and I feel like not just depleted, just worn out, just like drained, and like of my energy. And then on top of that, the the energy, I'm keep putting out energy going in, it just keeps hitting into a wall, hitting into a wall. It was like this morning, getting up again, 6 fucking notifications, 1 new follower. That is like every fucking night for however long, And it's so crazy because, like, I mean, they took away my one account. It was doing really good, my first TikTok. And then I didn't think I would get another one. And then when I got the other one, and then right away my videos were going viral. And right away they shut it down. And then it's been dead ever since. And I don't know how this all works. I don't know how they decide who gets to talk and who doesn't get to talk. It's just like, man. And I just, some of this stuff, like I keep seeing, like people who are out there, leading people in their spirituality and, guiding people and explaining things to people. And they all keep going into major crises. So that's what I keep trying to say. There's way more to awakening than just waking up. You got to heal. And no matter what, the universe is going to keep pushing you into healing. And these people who are out there just trying to act like they're the super spirits who haven't done their healing are going to keep getting pushed and being publicly shown their stuff. And this one girl, she has, man, it is one after another. I've said a couple of different times, like, I can't believe how many crises that she goes into. It is crazy. And some of this stuff, because a lot of people say a lot of this stuff publicly. They'll just go out there and just say all this stuff, about, man, there's a couple. Because there's another one, too, that she has been going back and forth with her husband for the whole time I've been on there. I mean, one day they're madly in love. She can't ever imagine being away from him, and then the next week he's the most horrible, narcissistic person. I can't believe I've even spent this much time with them. Never again. And the next week, we're back in love. It just goes round and round, and with this other one too. And the people gotta see. It has to do with healing, and I don't know. I went through so much trauma and drama throughout my life, and not healing, and just trying to survive, just get up and go again the next day and do whatever. And everything had to be taken away from me to put me into my healing. And that's why, I knew it was going to happen. I knew everybody was going to start losing it. The universe was going to take everything away to push people into healing. And that is the main thing. People got to see, this is about healing. This is about your expansion of your soul, your energy. That's why they're so on steroids, trying to get your energy, steal your energy, take your energy, use your energy, and want you to give it up freely without you questioning anything, Just give them your consciousness. I just can't even imagine, like, what they would do if they had consciousness. Like, these people are so evil. It kind of reminds me of little kids who go out and catch bugs and then keep opening the lid and looking at them. That's how I see these people. Like, just getting consciousness and getting it stuck in a box. And it sounds so crazy, but I saw that movie or whatever I talked about a couple months ago, where it was like some scientist woman who, or I've seen a couple of them, and trying to save their child and doing clones. Like this one, her son was a murderer, so she came home, found the dead girl, then she relives her day after day, grows her back every day to try and give her son a new opportunity to not murder. But every day he makes the same choice to murder. And this girl, just like in that movie, or in that show Westworld, you know, she starts realizing, wait, I swear to God, I've been here before. I swear to God, I've done this before. What is going on? And then starts getting creeped out by the guy as soon as she meets him. And that whole one with that. But then the other one was, oh yeah, because that one was a guy who was injured, went into the hospital, and this mom was also, she was a psychiatrist or something, worked in the hospital. And so she had also a warped murderer son, and he had died, but she captured his consciousness. Then she was doing a transplant, putting his consciousness into this other fella. And the other fella was like, everybody's like, you're so different, you're so weird, you know, like we're really confused by him. And so you're going through the movie, you're not really sure what's going on, but then it is that she put his consciousness in there, and then the guys started fighting, having this fight inside of himself, like an exorcism, two consciousnesses inside the same body. And he's fighting it. But so many people who allow somebody in, they don't realize like they're allowing somebody in. Like people just don't understand about souls and spirit and your spaceship and stuff. Like they, I think people need to start seeing life through different how they see it. But then in that one, at the end, when the guy, he had to go back into the box. And then the mom would go on to the computer. So his consciousness was just trapped inside this black box. And then the mom would go onto the computer to interact with him. And that's what they want people to do. And it's all about this consciousness. It's all about your energy. You as energy. I mean, all these people on this fucking planet who don't understand that they're an energetic being. That their energy, you know, that is like, yeah, I don't even think I could explain that right. Because if you saw, you know, the butterflies as just being energy and not being something, and then you just wanted to capture all the butterflies. That is like what they're doing to us, is like they want to capture all the consciousness that has no awareness to run and to go away. So it's like all this like gentle little fluttering, and then they're just capturing them all, netting them all up to get all this consciousness. And they do, there's just so much distortion here, like all of this stuff. But all of the consciousness that is being gathered, because they don't know that they are consciousness. They need to protect what and who they are from the ones that are trying to interfere with who and what they are. But they don't see it because they don't understand life on the level of what I believe life is. And so they just keep living in the 3D battle. You know, and there's so, oh my gosh, there's so many more crimes. And I was thinking, some of these shows that just do these horrible crimes and horrible things going on, I think they're going to have a lot, probably over the next, say, 6 months or a year for sure. But then I think that's going to kind of start like petering out. Like there's going to be so much trauma. People are not going to want to listen to that stuff anymore. They're not going to want to, you know, because there's so many crime podcasts. But that is going to be a temporary thing. That's not going to be a forever. It's not going to be like people lining up to, no, that is kind of like the death of this world. And is so all these people who are starting all these crime podcasts and stuff, hopefully they've got some other things that they can talk about too. Because I don't think that the crime podcasts are going to go past, like, the crimes are going to be so horrific. There's going to be so much horrible stuff that it's going to be, a little bit of talking about it, but then it's going to want to be releasing it, not just reliving it. Like 3 years from now, we still want to remember about, the lady selling her little girl for $200. Is like, those are things that are so traumatic and so horrific. All of these fucking bullshit things going on that we're not going to want to just stay there. We're going to have to let it go. So anyways, I think that over the next year, there's going to be some horrific crime posts. Like, I've already seen so many horrific ones. Like, I can't even believe it. And how many that aren't even being talked about. I guess the horrible crime that happened in Oklahoma, there's some crazy, shady shit going on with that, man. And I still don't know about that one in Idaho. I still, like, that, man, I don't know. Especially when we're just talking about this, being able to call someone and tell them a code word and then send them out on a murder rampage. So, I don't know. I think there's some shady shit. But the Oklahoma one, it's fucking weird too. So, because one of the dads of one of the girls, the 14-year-old, let's see, I think was it a 14-year-old and a 15-year-old, or a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old? Maybe his daughter's the 15-year-old. It seems like his daughter was the younger of the two girls that went missing. And then, if you haven't seen it, which I think everybody's seen it, but in America, if you haven't, like, in America, you may not have seen it. But so the two girls went missing, and then they were found in a house with a bunch of dead people. So there's like a bunch of dead people in this house. And so one of the things is that there's, so the dad got into this house and he is doing a video and he is pissed, man. They don't have they aren't doing it as a crime scene at all. They're just, basically the police are just blowing it off. I'm like, we don't know what to tell you. And the dad was getting so mad, and the cop was just like, kind of like, well, what do you want us to do? And the dad was going through the place. He found so much evidence. He called the cops. He said, you need to get out here and get this evidence. They weren't even gathering the evidence right. There's all sorts of phones in the place. There was iPads. So they've got all sorts of evidence. I think there's, the one girl was chained to a bed. And I think there could have been some other ones that were chained to bed. There's some real suspicious stuff that I don't know if it was ritualistic, if it was cartel ritual, if it was traffic situation. Like, I don't know. Was it just a one-time party shot? Here, come in, we're going to chain people up. Everybody can just have their way, then we'll do them in and go. Like, I don't know. All of the corruption and the crazy shit that goes on in this world. But this dad was, oh my God, he was so freaking mad. And I was yelling at these cops. And the cop is just like, yeah, well, not even doing any gathering. That is mental. And this is multiple of these I've seen of other places in other states. Like, it's really being shown, the corruption in our police force. And you got to realize that all those people just follow orders. They are just robots. They're trained to not think for themselves. They're not supposed to think for themselves. And when someone breaks the program and starts thinking for themselves, then I don't think that they even want to be part of the force, because the force is against us. It is to protect the few up at the top and to, scapegoat or whatever, all of us. And so it is other states that I'm hearing these horrible crimes that are being covered up, and ones that aren't even being talked about. The 3 little girls found in the pond, strangled, not doing anything about that. These little girls all found, all the kids that keep going missing, and they're not going missing. They're being found in teeth and burgers and shit like that. They're not missing. And they're, I can say a lot of really gross stuff. It's just so fucking disturbing. But all this stuff is going to keep coming out, and it's going to keep being atrocious. It's going to keep being just really, really hard to see what some people are going through and how some people handle what they're going through. It's a lot. It's just a lot. And, there's a part, it's just like you want to, like I would just like to just go to sleep and just wake up when it's all over. Just wake me up when we get to the good side. This is hard to watch, man. It's so emotional to see, like, the good things. Like, there's good things, and then there's some bad things. Like, there's really some sweet stories that are happening out there, of people stepping up and helping other people. It's just really sad stuff too. Like, people are really don't know how they're going to eat. They don't know where they're going to sleep. They just, are just out there lost in the world and don't know what to do. The more you can see that everything that is being taken away from you is so that you can see what you really need. What is it that will make you happy in life? What is it you want? Because people don't realize how far that they had grown away from themselves to exist in this reality. But they have to lose everything to actually find out what is inside of me, what is at my core. What is it that I would really like? Like, I 100% know for sure I could be completely happy and fulfilled living with a naked tribe out in the fucking forest somewhere. I'd be happy as fucking hell. Running around naked, gathering berries and shit and eating, running around, just living my life. Like, that is fulfilling to me. This other part, where you got to follow the rules and do what they say and all of this stuff, this is some bullshit. This is some bullshit. I can't even believe how many people still want to continue it. It's like, why? Why? When you could just go out and, like, what is it that is the draw? What draws you into this reality of phony fucking artificial shit? And the food stuff, like all this shit that keeps coming, like more and more of our food now is like everybody's just showing everything's bioengineered. Like, there was things that were simple ingredients now that have complex ingredients. They are making our food worse and worse and worse, because that's part of the absurdity of getting people to push into understanding. When you're dependent on someone else for your food, they can do whatever the fuck they want to it. And that's what they're doing. And they want to keep us sick because they profit off of our sickness. So do you want people who want you sick feeding you? But these people are, hell yeah. But more and more is being shown about our food. And what was it? Because New York just made, because the laundry soap, they just made a whole bunch of laundry soaps where you're not allowed to use them. And there was some other things. But more and more of this stuff is just going to keep coming. It's just going to keep flipping the other way. But I think that is a good thing to think about, is whoever you are, is being seen by the world right now. You're going to be seen completely, like the coin will flip, and you'll be seen the other side. So if everybody's seeing you as just a real champ, a real good guy, like the greatest thing in the whole wide world, you may want to start, like, looking at it a little deeper. Like, am I really being authentic? Am I being real? Am I showing my true self? Am I just trying to please people? Because if you're just trying to please people, you can get people on board for a while until you do something that doesn't please them. Then it's like, you better get in line. You're here for me. You're here to make me happy. Dance, monkey, dance. So I don't know. But if everybody is telling you you're doing such a good job, just really think about it. Because maybe yours is already flipped. Maybe you're already being seen for who you are. I can't say for sure, because all these flips are happening. There's still going to be something dramatic that I think is going to be, there's a whole bunch, which I have no idea. I'm just guessing on, with the event and all that stuff. But there's a whole bunch of people who are saying that the aliens and stuff are about to start communicating with us soon, like over Like whenever is going to happen, where things start turning the other direction, that's going to be. And that this is going to be the big event thing that's going to happen. And it has something to do with Narubu or something, Nabaru, or how do you say it? Which I don't know. I mean, is this big thing going to crash through the firmament? And I think the firmament holds us because we're low vibration here. I mean, we're not all low vibration. The more you do your work and the more you accept and love and stuff like that, then you're raising your vibration. But the higher vibration, I think, can come through the firmament. And it was something I just saw where somebody was, I think it was something with the rocket, where they're saying the firmament's really only 13,000 miles above us. It's not very far above us. And, where we think we're in this big, giant thing. So things coming in, and that means the sun's way closer, the moon's way closer, or are they outside of the firmament showing through? I think that they're inside. And I think I think that the beings can come in this direction from the top to the bottom. And there's all sorts of people showing footage of, these ones being shielded in the clouds and tons of those kinds of videos. But there's other videos now going around where people are getting fighting, where they're catching planes shooting at stuff up in the sky, but you can't see the thing that it's shooting at and stuff. So, and weird light things happening. So I don't know, maybe it will be, this Narubu thing is going to crash through and it's supposed to be the Sumerian. Like, I don't know how everything's going to go down. I just know that some magic shit's going to start happening. Some stuff that is going to be very different from the world that we had existed in before. And that is going to be, that's where it's going to start being, the magic's going to start happening when the things start turning in those directions. So, but we still have this whole part to, go through. Like, when you see that many people lined up for the coronation, then you just got to be like, okay, this is going to keep going slow. Like, and in all this footage too, where I've seen all this stuff at the coronation, there was a video in there of somebody else in England, and they went and got a newspaper, and in the front page of the newspaper, it has all of this stats for the thing. And I don't know how this got in here, but it shows how many are dead in each country. I think it had 4 countries listed, and how many injuries and stuff like that. In America alone, over 3 million died from it. 3 million. Over. In England, it was over 1 million. I think it was closer to 2, because it was like 1, there was some 8s and stuff in there. And then I think it had Australia. Definitely America had the most of those countries that were listed. Like, if you went to Africa or India, there would definitely be the most there. And then that wasn't even counting just the injuries, unless that was both, because they had more of a breakdown on theirs in England, how many actually were injured, how many were this, how many were that, how many. So they had a bigger breakdown. But on the bottom, it had bigger numbers from other countries. And so, yeah, we have a lot. And so, anyways, when you have this many people, though, who just don't see yet, like, I don't know. We just got to keep on seeing what's going to happen. Oh, yeah, because that Steve Jobs thing, it was something that he had said. And this was 2 different quotes I'd seen, but this is what I was just talking about last week, I think. Because I said, when things happen, it's all destiny, but you don't know the date of something. Like, we can look ahead and we keep thinking, oh, well, that date, like yesterday, 5555, that would be perfect. Oh, yeah, that'd be the great day. Let's have something happen on that day. So when you're looking from this side It's like you can look ahead and you can think, oh, well, that'd work out, do this day, but it's when you get to the other side, that is when you really get your clear vision, when you can look back and then you can see how things went into alignment, how they fell into place. Then things make sense. When you're going this direction forward, things don't make as much sense. And you don't see how everything is connected. It's always in the looking back. But anyway, Steve Jobs said something like in some quote. It was similar to that, what I was talking about. But that is so true. Like you can look ahead as far as you want, even for me as a seer, to be able to see so many things that they show me, but it is still is you don't get the whole thing until we look backwards. Once we look backwards, that's when we get the whole view. So we're going through all this and we can be guessing and trying and, experiencing in all the different ways that we're experiencing it. But we get the full impact once we get through it. And then we look back and we go and see what it was, all of the things. And so anyways, now I've been talking a long time. Hopefully I said some stuff, but I'm going to still just stay positive for this weekend and hope that something significant happens and starts getting people to wake up and stuff, even though it's going to be painful and hard and it's going to seem horrible. Like I know there's a lot of people who just rather stay asleep than to realize what this place is. But, your soul is here to realize what this place is. And so it's time to start questioning reality and seeing the truth. So I'd say just, buckle up and just wait it out until it's all said and done. And, it's going to be, I just don't know. So just stay safe and keep working on you because that's what's most important. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.